my name's Dan, I'm from DiGiGrid, and we're here today at ESV TV looking at all the DiGiGrid hardware. And this little short video is going to be about some of the software options, how we control the hardware and how it integrates into our DAW or our Pro Tools environment. So the first thing I'm going to do is bring up SoundGrid Studio. SoundGrid Studio is the controlling application that controls our network and our network-based processing and our routing of signals between the network devices and our software, our drivers. It's split up into three tabs here. The Setup tab, which is where we're going to configure all the hardware. We'll have a quick look at that. The Mixer tab allows us to access the DSP in terms of it being a utility mixer. So in the native world, we use that for building our low latency monitoring paths. And in the Pro Tools HD environment, we could use it just as a utility mixer to take signals from our Pro Tools or network-based signals and mix them together and process them. And then the final part, which we'll look at, is the patch, which gives us a free patch bay between all of our devices. So we're here in the Setup tab to start, and on the left-hand side here we can see we have our DLS connected. So this is our DLS piece of hardware which gives us SoundGrid processing and acts like a Pro Tools interface. In the middle section we have our core audio driver. This is a Mac-based system. If it was a PC it would be an ASIO driver, but here on the Mac system it's our core audio driver, and I'll show you a cool trick with that in a minute. And then here in this column, this server column, we have our SoundGrid server off the system. And this is the nuts and bolts, the DSP part of the system that gives us our processing advantage. The setup is a really simple thing. One click, we press our scan button, it looks down the network and auto discovers all the devices. And actually there are a set of templates that allow us to quickly and easily sort of pre-configure the system. So you choose the scenario that is closest to what you're doing, and that sets up nearly all of the functions and the routing that you need to do. Since we're going to do this in a Pro Tools environment, I've got Pro Tools 11 running in the background here. As far as the Pro Tools is concerned, the DLS appears as interfaces. So we have our Omni, our straight Pro Tools interface, and we have a series of 192s, and this is our DLS. And then because it's a physical interface, we can send audio to the network, send it to the DLS, either for networking or for processing, and then return it again. So it's a really easy integration. Once you've sort of set this up, it just acts like one of your Pro Tools interfaces, which really makes it easy to do. So that's the I/O setup. The routing obviously is based on the easy normal sort of Pro Tools routing that you would have. So you set up your I/O, whether it be an IOX or an IOC or an Omni, you know, any of the connected hardware, whether it's Avid or DiGiGrid related, just gets set up as normal, and then we can choose our inputs. What I have done here actually is a little trick. From my Mac core audio driver, I've sent the output of the core audio driver to the SoundGrid network. Now that seems a little bit odd, but what it enables me to do in my patch bay is link the output of my core audio driver into my Pro Tools. So when I play, in this case iTunes Internet Radio, the output of my Mac audio appears straight into my HDX system, my HD TDM system. So actually we've got this sort of integration already between my Mac native core audio system and my Pro Tools environment, which is something we normally couldn't do so easily. So here we can see in Pro Tools my audio playing. Let's just make this a little bit bigger here. This is my meter for my internet radio. And then the final bit of this is, how do I access that DSP in the SoundGrid server? I need to be able to access that and process the audio, not using my Mac's processing or using the HD cards, but using the DSP inside my SoundGrid server. So in Pro Tools HD, that requires two inserts. The first of them is a straight, if I bring it up here, a straight physical I/O insert. This is routing audio to the DLS and back again, just a physical insert connection. And the second part of it is Studio Rack, which we'll look at in detail in another video. But essentially this is a chain of plugins that allows me to control the processing on my server. So we have this really cool integration between our sort of operation within our DAW and how we control the DSP inside the box. So that's a very quick introduction to sort of the SoundGrid Studio. The SoundGrid Studio really is the heart of the system. It really is, you know, it gives you this great ability to route signals and configure your hardware in a really flexible way. If you want to try out SoundGrid Studio as part of a DLS or an iOS in a native environment, it's exactly the same piece of software. Get on to the guys at Eastwood Sound and Vision, and they'll be able to get you some more information.